Hi everyone, in today's video we are making this adult onesie from a previous unboxing video into a sweatshirt, and then in the future I'll be making it into ears and a wallet. But first things first, let's just see if we can make this into a sweatshirt. My goal is, the zipper is actually a perfect length, and lucky for us we have a nice horizontal design to follow as our cutting and where to fold it. My issues that I'm going to run into are the pockets do go lower than the zippers. I don't know if I want that much of a chunk not zipped up. And so what I'm thinking about doing is maybe using this as the fold point. So I would be sewing across these pockets, which are larger than necessary. I mean, me putting it in here, I can definitely get rid of this much pocket and be completely fine. And then my other issue I'll run into is these pockets are actually huge on the inside. So I might sew them to make them smaller, and I just have to, whether it's sewing a line up here and attaching the pocket that way, just so it doesn't hang past where I'm planning on cutting it. So I'm thinking if this is going to be my fold line, I can cut across. I should actually give myself a little more extra. I can cut here across just so we have some playroom, and then when I fold, so I can cut off the excess. So that's my game plan. I hope that made sense, but without further ado, I'm gonna get to snipping this thing, and yeah. All right, so now we have this. I'm actually gonna flip it inside out, and I kinda wanna do the pockets first and figure out that route. All right, so let's make this pocket smaller first. That way I can cut this extra fabric. So I'll use fabric glue to close off those threading just so it doesn't wanna unravel. So let me get that, and then we will time lapse me doing it. Now, if you really wanted to be particular, you could take a measuring tape out and actually make it official. But I don't have time for that. I do not care if one pocket is bigger than the other. I will just go by my eye. My eye is my measuring tool. I'm just gonna hand sew, hand sew, hand sew, and then we're good. All right, so I did do 3 passes with the threading, and now we're just gonna snip this off. And now the test. It works, look at that. It will definitely hold stuff. It's no problem. All right, so let me do this exact same thing on the other pocket, and then we'll move on to the folding part and figuring out what to do next. Both of the pockets are done. Now, when it comes to the zipper, somehow I have to get this to separate while not affecting, I guess, this stuff. So, sorry, I have Nightmare Before Christmas on. I'm thinking I'll put fabric glue all up in here just to be super safe, because we don't want those threading to come undone. I'm trying to think if I want to cut the vertical line first or secure the horizontal. Decisions. Let's just wing it. Who puts thought into this stuff? And that way when I cut through, it will still hold its place. Oh no, and yeah, they don't have it where the one wants to come through. The way the zipper is, it just ends there. And yeah. Well, I don't want to put a whole new zipper on. That's a whole other task I don't want to do. So what if I shouldn't even cut it. I should have just left it alone. I'm gonna glue it back together because life. And this is actually going to be a sweatshirt we put over and then zip up. I legitimately thought all zippers had that one insert, and yeah, I didn't know that they had a blunt end of a zipper. Okay, so that's dry now. That was definitely a waste of a step. But normally, I'm sure if you're a seamstress, you would remove the zipper, buy a new zipper, install it. However, I definitely don't want to do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I am more than okay with having this be a pullover zippy hoodie. So this is back mended together. My next step will be to fold this up and go around the whole way like that and then pin it. So that's what I'm going to do next. What we're working with. Typically you'd want to measure, but honestly I'm using the icons as measurements, so I'm cutting them all in half. And then on the back I was using that red line as a measurement. Next what I'm gonna do is literally just sew across 2 or 3 times, and that should actually keep the pocket in place too. Typically you would want to sew from the inside out. However, since I want to try and keep this a straight line, I'd rather the outside look a lot neater than the inside. So I'm just gonna start my needle from the inside, and now I'm just gonna work it across. So I'm all done with the sewing part, and I did end up just sewing that middle part back together. So let's flip it inside out again. I might have to adjust the pockets just because even with sewing, there was a part that was too high on both of the pockets, which is the part by the zipper. So it's not like it got secured. So I might just fabric glue that like there. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I'm actually gonna go through and cut off the excess. So the last thing for me to do is flip this right side out and try it on. I will say that the threading I used, I got this big thing off Amazon. It's not a stretchable thread, so if you were to do this at home, not saying any of you would, because you know, if you did, you would do it the correct way, not the my way. You would definitely want to use stretchable thread, just because obviously if you're doing a pullover hoodie, you don't want it to be tight or anything. However, I'm just winging it, so I don't really care. This is what my little sewing looks like. So is it perfect? No. But if you're that close to look at my sweatshirt, then we got other issues. Eventually I will go over it with an iron. I just want to see how it looks on just right now as is. So let's go try it. Here's how the sweatshirt looks on. It fits great. Here, I'll zipper it down. So obviously it can only go down to that much. I put it on over my head, but I also tried just stepping into it, and both methods were fine. But yeah, the length is great, the arms are great. This, I just want to show you, is the other onesie. So that onesie shall not be cut up because I will wear it as pajamas. This, now I can wear pajamas outside the house and no one would know. Overall, I would definitely think this is a success. I definitely took shortcuts. So I'm sure anyone who's a seamstress cringed at this whole footage. But you know what? For anyone who doesn't know and just sees me out in public, they'd have no idea. But all right guys, as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye friends.